Standard of living refers to the level of wealth, comfort, material goods and necessities available to a certain socio-economic class in a certain geographic area. The standard of living includes factors such as income, quality and availability of employment, class disparity, poverty rate, quality and affordability of housing, hours of work required to purchase necessities, gross domestic product, inflation rate, number of holiday days per year, affordable access to quality healthcare, quality and availability of education, life expectancy, incidence of disease, cost of goods and services, infrastructure, national economic growth, economic and political stability, political and religious freedom, environmental quality, climate and safety. The standard of living is closely related to quality of life. In 2013, the Human Development Index ranked the top 6 countries for quality of living as Norway, Australia, Switzerland, Netherlands, United States and Germany. Measurement. Standard of living is generally measured by standards such as real income per person and poverty rate. Other measures such as access and quality of health care, income growth inequality, and educational standards are also used. Examples are access to certain goods, or measures of health such as life expectancy. It is these by which people living in a time or place are able to satisfy their needs or wants. The idea of a standard may be contrasted with the quality of life, which takes into account not only the material standard of living, but also other more intangible aspects that make up human life, such as leisure, safety, cultural resources, social life, physical health, environmental quality issues, etc. More complex means of measuring well-being must be employed to make such judgments, and these are very often political, thus controversial. Even between two nations or societies that have similar material standards of living, quality of life factors may in fact make one of these places more attractive to a given individual or group. Criticism. However, there can be problems even with just using numerical averages to compare material standards of living, as opposed to, for instance, a Pareto index. Standards of living are perhaps inherently subjective. As an example, countries with a very small, very rich upper class and a very large, very poor lower class may have a high mean level of income, even though the majority of people have a low standard of living. This mirrors the problem of poverty measurement, which also tends towards the relative. This illustrates how distribution of income can disguise the actual standard of living. Likewise, country a perfectly socialist country with a planned economy with very low average per capita income would receive a higher score for having lower income inequality than country B with a higher income inequality, even if the bottom of country B's population distribution had a higher per capita income than country A. Real examples of this include former East Germany compared to former West Germany or Croatia compared to Italy. In each case, the socialist country has a low income discrepancy, but lower per capita incomes than a large majority of their neighboring counterpart.